MCU theory: does Ant-Man die? The Quantumania teaser for Ant-Man and the Wasp reveals that Scott Lang has established himself as a well-known superhero in the MCU. Still, a devastating fan theory suggests that Ant-Man dies in Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. The Phase 2 Ant-Man was played by Scott Lang, while the MCU passed on Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne as founding members of the Avengers. Since Scott Lang, nicknamed Ant-Man, has only appeared in one Avengers film, Avengers Endgame, his straightforward portrayal has made him a fan favorite. His death would be just as terrible for the MCU as Iron Man or Black Widow. Hello everyone and welcome to another video on our channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss MCU theory: does Ant-Man die? So stay tuned to find out. Now let's start our video. While information about the Kang Dynasty is limited, the fact that Ant-Man and the Wasp will face Kang in Quantumania suggests that Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne will play a significant role in the upcoming Avengers film. Because only Ant-Man and the Wasp have seen the Kang Dynasty, they may be the only Avengers capable of defeating Kang in Avengers 5 using Hank Pym's technology and Janet Van Dyne's quantum realm expertise. Some fans believe that Scott Lang, who plays Ant-Man, would die to stop Kang in the Avengers 5. When Tony Stark exposed his secret at the end of the film Iron Man, one of his major fears was having to be Iron Man all the time. 2008. Tony had to be a hero the world could believe in, a celebrity they wanted to follow, and a leader the Avengers and the world's governments would respect. During the Avengers Battle of New York, Tony Stark's life was irreversibly affected, and Iron Man's newfound sense of duty caused him to rethink his values. Scott Lang's plot may take a similar path, that of a man who appears to have won everything, yet faces one final battle. If Scott Lang's multiverse saga storyline reflects Tony Stark's Infinity Saga arc, Ant-Man and Kang's connection may be similar to that of Iron Man and Thanos. Although Tony Stark had no idea who Thanos was, he had known since before the Battle of New York that Loki was merely the beginning of their challenges, and that a much greater power awaited the Avengers somewhere in the universe. On the other hand, Thanos had heard of Iron Man and admired him for foiling Loki's attempt to unleash the Chitauri to attack Earth. By the time the Endgame climax arrived, Iron Man and Thanos' dispute had devolved into a personal one. The Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania preview shows a moment before Ant-Man and Kang similar to Iron Man's conversation with Thanos in Avengers Infinity War, but with a twist. Kang appears familiar with the Avengers and implies that he has already battled them, but he has learned who Ant-Man is lately. Kang's tone and words suggest that Ant-Man is not as important to the Avengers mission as the other heroes, and that, despite his intimate experience with the Avengers' adversaries, Kang does not care about Scott Lang. That's the polar opposite of Thanos' opinion of Iron Man in Infinity War, implying Ant-Man will play a role in Kang's demise. If you're liking this content so far, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Now let's continue. Given how closely Ant-Man's story is following Iron Man, it's not difficult to imagine Ant-Man making the ultimate sacrifice to stop Kang, much like Iron Man did when he killed Thanos. The Kang Dynasty is a prelude to the conclusion of yet another Marvel Cinematic Universe saga, as the next Avengers feature will not be released until Phase 6. Several Avengers died in Infinity War and its sequel, Endgame, and their deaths were major story events. 3 were never undone or retconned. Because this film is between Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars, it's safe to assume that some heroes may perish in the interim. Scott Lang agreed to become Ant-Man to apologize to Cassie and the rest of his family. Scott has always done what was best for Cassie, and after the events of Captain America: Civil War, he agreed to a solution that required him to relinquish his status as Ant-Man for the time being. Because of the time jump in Avengers Endgame, Cassie Lang may soon be the focus of her own stories, either as Stature or as a member of the Young Avengers, with Scott Lang playing a supporting role. Scott Lang's journey has been quite uncomplicated compared to the other MCU Avengers and their rich battle history. Scott, unlike Hank Pym, didn't devote his entire life to becoming a superhero or working for an organization like S.H.I.E.L.D. Scott Lang's metamorphosis into Ant-Man was primarily accidental, but Hank Pym had been watching him for a while in anticipation of hiring him as his master thief. Classic hero arcs were more closely followed by Ant-Man, who progressed from being hesitant to put on that Ant-Man suit to be the hero who finally saved the universe in Endgame. Well, that's all for today's video. Tell us in the comments section how this one was. I hope that you found this video interesting. You can subscribe and watch more videos on our channel to keep up with more content. We'll see you in the following video with some more notable celebrities, facts, and stories. And until then, stay tuned.